Thanks. Okay, I think we're getting ready to start. Logan, what do you think? Okay. Welcome everyone to our Scholarships Canada presentation webinar. We're going to be running two webinars this afternoon or tonight. One on School Finder and finding schools, and the other on scholarships, finding and applying to scholarships. I'm going to be your host for the first one. My name is Chris, and I'm going to sort of relay sort of my personal experiences and how you can get the most out of the site. Hopefully you'll find it useful. Logan is going to run the second webinar on the scholarships and applying to scholarships, and we hope you'll find that useful as well. This is a new interface for us. We're, in a sense, testing it out, so I hope you don't mind. But it's kind of an interactive event platform that we think will be useful. We're going to be using it throughout this fall and into the winter. We do have two booths, one booth for School Finder, one for Scholarships Canada. So we encourage you to check out the booth. Preya and Daniel, two of our colleagues, are going to be manning the booth, so you can go in and ask questions, download information. And when you visit a booth or attend a session or request information, you'll get points. So we're trying something called gamification, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. So we're trying to sort of make it fun in the sort of process of figuring out what school and program you're going to go to and what scholarship you're going to apply for. And you get points for all the sort of different activities you do. And we will be giving a $5 gift card to the top 20 scorers in the sort of gamification. And if there's a tie for the top 20, we're going to do a random draw. So, and we'd love to hear your feedback on how that works. Some people have asked about recordings. We will be recording these sessions, and we'll send you a link to get those recordings. So you don't have to take copious notes. And if you miss one presentation or the other, you can retrieve it through the recording. And then finally, before we push off, I want to talk about CCUF, the Canadian College and University Fair, which is organized by the School Finder Group. And it is going to be in October, the 22nd and 23rd. And so we encourage you to come out to that event. It'll be a great opportunity to speak to universities and colleges. There'll be lots of the schools attending with their admissions reps and whatnot, so you can talk to them get your questions answered, and also attend webinars like what we're doing here. So it's a great opportunity, really, if you're in that sort of stage, you're not sure what you're going to do next year, where you want to go. A great opportunity to get insight into that, especially in these times where you can't physically go to an education fair. Great. Okay, with that, I'm going to start the presentation. I guess I should mention too that we'll do Q&A. So if you've got a question, I think Logan's going to be managing or monitoring that, and we'll stop partway through this presentation to answer any questions, and then stop again, I think, towards the end. So as I said, my name is Chris Wilkins. I'm the founder and CEO of the School Finder Group. I started this business really because I was frustrated in finding a business school. I ended up doing my MBA at the London Business School in the UK, which is a great school, and it was a great experience. But it was a real, trip to try to figure out where I should apply, and ultimately getting into LBS. And I thought it should be a lot easier. So that's really kind of the kernel of how this business started, trying to make it easier for you and for anyone to find the right school and the right program to go to. And I guess my undergrad path wasn't as smooth, and I don't know how many people, you guys are probably mostly in high school, but there are a lot of people that get into a college or university program and then transfer again. I ended up transferring 3 times before I found the university and the school I ended up going to, which was Glendon College here in Toronto. Great sort of small liberal arts campus and university. But it took 3 tries to get to that. So hopefully we can make it easier for you, or that's our goal, with some of the tools on schoolfinder.com. And also finding a job. So there's a little note here about getting the right job. It may take a few tries, so we've got career stuff that maybe helps with that process as well. And I should also say, don't be discouraged if you haven't found the right career when you're 22 or 23. And for a lot of us now, for you'll be working well beyond 65. So you may have multiple careers. So don't be too fussed about getting the right career when you're 22. You can, as I say here, dare to dream and get into the right career, or try different careers until you figure out which one is the one you love. So finding the right school was born in 1995. So that's sort of the kernel of the seminal sort of trip to where we are now. We get a lot of questions, especially from, I guess now, is school worth it? If I take a program, am I going to get or go take a diploma or a bachelor degree? Am I going to get my money out of it? Is it worth the trouble? Especially in this day and age with COVID and changing careers and tasks and needs and skills, is it worth even trying? I think you guys are pretty much on the right path, but is it worth it? Is $1 million worth it, is the question. And the answer is yes. If you get a college diploma or bachelor's degree, which are sort of the columns here to the right, you're going to, on average, make that much more money. So your bachelor's degree for men might be $82,000. Whereas with just a high school diploma, it's $55,000. So that's how we kind of get to that $1 million number. So yeah, it does make a difference. Now these are averages, and looking at the entire, in this case, Canadian population. This is Stats Canada information. And there are cases like someone you might know named Bill Gates, who I don't think really ever graduated. I think he went to a year of Harvard and that was it. So it's they're one-offs and anomalies, but generally, is it worth it? Absolutely. Elon Musk, who's a grad of Queen's, did get a bachelor's degree. So there you go. But it's more than just money. Getting an education gives you a better sense of the environment and what and civic responsibility and healthier habits, etc. So this is there's been lots of research done on this, and it shows that if you do get a post-secondary education, you are probably going to have a better life in terms of your health and your happiness and all those other things that I think matter. So not just money. What is the cost of education? So, in grade 11 or grade 12, and certainly in grade 10, you kind of think, okay, what is the cost? Often you think, okay, I'm going to become a doctor, until you realize what it takes to get into that, specific profession, and then the length of time and the cost. But, if you're budgeting, it's anywhere from 5 to 7.5 or even more now for tuition. And then there's all sorts of extra costs on top of that. We've provided links. This data is from Stats Canada, but we've provided cost sort of links and articles on School Finder and Scholarships Canada, which you can find quite easily, and that'll give you a sense of what it might cost to get an education, not just tuition, but all the other fees as well. Across the country too, it does differ. So if you're a resident of Quebec, you're going to pay a lot less than non-residents of Quebec to get an education in Quebec, and a lot less than students across the country. And then in different provinces, it will range from province to province. It also ranges from degree to degree. Some degrees, some programs will be more expensive than others. Again, we try to provide that information on School Finder, so when you look at a program profile on the site, you'll get a sense of what it might cost you. Finding the right program in school is important. I mentioned I went to 3 schools before I found the one I liked, or the program I liked. And that's sort of borne out here. And this is, again, Stats Canada data, but almost 1 in 5 students drop out or move from one program to another. And there's no problem doing that, but ideally you want to select the program and the school that is best suited for you. So, program-wise, are you, looking at a program that your friends and peers are interested in, so you're hopping on board, or is it something you have a real interest in? Are you going to a college or university that friends and family want you to go to? Or are you going to the school that you want to go to? And that all makes a difference. So what we're trying to do is give you that information, or the infrastructure, the sort of, tools and whatnot that can help you make the right decisions, so that you're not the 1 in 5 that drop out, that you have a successful path. And again, it's not a problem if you do move programs, but ideally you want to make the right choice starting out of high school. Okay, so today we have a lot of choices. On our website, we have close to over 53,000 programs. These would be diploma programs, these would be bachelor programs, and of course, master's and doctorate. So there's a lot of choices and a lot of different schools. And it's not inconceivable that you would go to school outside of the province or even outside of the country. So there are lots of opportunities, a lot more than when I started this process. And you should take advantage of them. So we provide those profiles on the site. We try to match you to programs and to schools that you tell us you might be interested in. And hopefully that opens your eyes and gives you some insight into what's possible. On the site, we have 5,000 schools represented. So again, colleges that offer diploma programs, which tend to be 2-year programs, and universities which offer bachelor programs, although they both offer each other's diploma and bachelor programs now. It's becoming even more complicated. And then grad schools, of course. But yeah, 5,000 school profiles on the site. So lots of opportunity there as well. And to kind of help you eventually down the road, we've listed 300 career profiles that we think are careers that you might be interested in sort of pursuing once you graduate. Does School Finder help? That really is a question. We hope it does, but our mission is to help you sort through all these options and match you to the right programs, the right schools, the right careers, and then ultimately to pay for all that, the right scholarships. And I think now we're going to take a tour. I'm going to stop for a minute and see if there are any questions while I flip over to the site.
No questions so far. Everything's been sort of tech related, so I think we're okay to continue. If anyone does have questions, feel free to throw them in the chat and we'll go through them.
Great. Does that make sense to everyone so far? Good. So I have, if you haven't created an account on School Finder or Scholarships Canada or Study in Canada, which are our three sites, the School Finder site is really all about finding a school. Scholarships Canada is all about scholarships, but the sites are interlinked. So if you create an account on School Finder, it's easy enough to flip over to Scholarships Canada and vice versa. So I've created an account here on School Finder. When I created the account, there are several questions, probably about 20 on School Finder, that we ask. So are you a student? Are you in high school? Or where are you at in your sort of educational journey? What's your interest? So in my case, I've selected undergraduate studies, my name, my email, my date of birth, my gender, and then I save and continue to the next page, and we get a little more information about where I am right now, where I live, and this all helps us in terms of the filtering. We don't share your information with anyone, and we don't email you unless you subscribe. So I'll say that up front. So I'll continue here to the next screen, which gets into the program. So we have a selection of programs here. I might try another one here. Geography. So if I'm interested in geography generally, I select that. These all come from an international sort of list of fields of study, they're called. So we try to make it easy to find the ones you're interested in, and that helps with the matching. Degree of level of interest, so bachelor, when do I want to start? I'll say September 2022. And then where am I interested in studying? So if you indicate across Canada, then we'll try to match you to schools and programs across the country. If you're also interested in studying outside of the country, like the UK, we'll do that as well. So I'll select UK in this case and save and continue. And then how did you hear about us? This just helps us with where should we be spending money to help students find the site, and then tell us your interests, and I save and go to my dashboard. When you sign up, you will be asked about subscription. I'm not asked right now. It's a different panel once I've signed up. But in the process of creating an account, you'll be asked what you want to subscribe to. So this is, and that's down here. So subscription preferences. Maybe I'll just dive in there right now. So when you create an account, you can get school, do you want school information? So if you're in a search for universities and colleges, you probably want to subscribe to this, and then you'll get updates on what's available. If you're already at post-secondary at college or university, you may not want that, so select no. Scholarship deadline alerts, if you are subscribed on scholarships or set up on Scholarships Canada, this is really useful. I'll select yes, because we will send you a notification monthly about awards that are coming up. Perks and offers, if you're interested in that sort of stuff, then sign up for that. If we've got School Finder group messages, sign up for that if it's relevant, and then newsletters. So if you want a monthly newsletter just giving you an update on what's going on, stuff you may be interested in, you can subscribe to that. So I'll update now, and you can unsubscribe or change your subscription anytime. And let me go back to the dashboard.
If I may interrupt, Chris.
Yep.
Quick question. Is the School Finder account different from our Scholarships Canada account?
It's not, and I'll flip over to Scholarships Canada in a bit, but it's the same sort of, if you want, database. So but some of the information's a little different. We'll flip over in a minute. You have to, or we ask you a few more questions for scholarship searches. But I'll flip over. Once you create an account on School Finder or on Scholarships Canada, you can move back and forth. So I've created an account here, or I've changed my account, and I'm interested in geography and biology. So here are the matching programs. So, and I've also said I'm interested in any school across Canada as well as the UK, if you'll remember. So I've actually been matched to 323 programs. So that's a lot. And you may want to adjust your searching, or you may say that's great. And you can do that. You can go in and change your profile, and it will narrow the search down. So I've got an anatomy and cell biology program at McGill, and so I'm not going to go through them all, but this is what you see. You've got some tuition information. The sciences tend to be higher tuition, which is why it's higher there. One of the questions that's asked is my entry grades or exit grades from high school, and I've indicated, I think, 80 some odd %. So this is showing me red. This program requires a 95 to get in. So it's giving me some insight into whether or not I will be, I'll make it if I apply. Now, you should take all of this stuff with a grain of salt. The program may change, or the current intake or the intake coming into next fall may not have as high grades, so there's still a shot. But if you're at 80 and it's 94, you may have to right now pull up your marks. There's still time before the end of the year, right? So in a sense, this gives you some insight into maybe where you need to hit the books, so to speak. So if I'm interested in that program though, and I want to add that, I can. If I want to compare them, so add means, here we go. I'm going to add this to my compare module. I'll take a look at this UNBC, and then I can compare them, and that will give me sort of a side-by-side comparison, which I can print or save. Okay, so this is giving me some insight into the program. This one has 3 scholarships available for you, UNBC. So we try to link to things like scholarships where we can. And if I want, I can save that. So I'll save it. So a lot of the stuff you can, just going to call it September 28th. I can't believe we're almost through September. Okay, so it's saved. And if I go back to my dashboard now, I can see my saved compare stuff. Save schools, there we go. And programs.
Question, Chris, if
Yeah.
I may break in. Point of clarification. When you're viewing and comparing programs, is it showing you tuition per year, per semester, per degree?
We try to lay it out per year. So what are you going to pay in a year? There are some colleges and universities that break out tuition by semester, and even some by course or credit. But generally, we try to break it out by year. So if you see it on the site, I think it will indicate that, but it will say per year. Okay, so I've got, let's go back into, I guess, just a program itself, just to see what that looks like. So this is a program at the University of Waterloo, geography. Again, I was interested in geography and environmental management. So we try to provide some information on the program itself with a link to the college or university's website. So if I click that link, it will take me out to UWaterloo's site, and I can get more information on the program. I'll let that load. We've got information on the length. So some bachelor degree programs are 3 years and some are 4. This is for, if I'm a domestic student, I'm going to pay about $8,000. There's 31 scholarships available. So if I wanted to check those out, I could. I click that link. and I go off to the list of scholarships. So some of these would be directly related to geography and some more general. And some of them would be automatic consideration and some that you would have to apply for. We'll get into that in the next session. And then our career listing. So if you want to become a natural and applied science policy researcher, we've got information there on that specific career. Yep.
Right, Chris, if I can break in once more.
Yeah.
Another quick question. Why do different provinces have different costs in tuition for different programs?
So the answer is some programs are more expensive, and the science programs tend to that have labs that have more expensive sort of extra stuff that you need to do. In arts, writing or history, I'm a history major originally. It's just books. You don't have a lot more, things going on, labs and whatnot. So the sciences do, and so it tends to be a little more expensive. In terms of the cost across the country, it really is based on every, in Canada, education is managed by the province. So the programs tend to have, a provincial sort of rate to them. And some provinces, a bachelor or diploma is more expensive than others. And that's the way it is in the province. Yeah, I hope that answers the question. I'll flip back to my dashboard. So we've looked at some program information here. I said that I'm interested in UK schools. So here's a school in Wales at Bangor. So that meets my criteria. I may be interested in that one as well. You can too, when you're on the site, you can request information. So with schools that have that request info button highlighted, let me go into matching schools. So if you want more information from the school, you can do that. So these are matching schools. So these are schools, universities, in this case, that have programs that meet my criteria and are located in places where I'm interested in studying. So Lakehead and York are here, Waterloo, Queen's University Belfast in Ireland is here, Algoma, etc. I won't go through the whole list, but if I want to request information from any of these schools, I simply select the box and then submit, and it will send information to the school saying that I'm interested, and the school will get back to you. We hope in a timely manner, but they'll get back to you with more information on the program and the school, etc. So, in a sense, they'll recruit you. It's up to you whether you want to do that or not, but it's a great way to sort of stay informed and in a way get recruited, right? Okay, I'm going to go back to my dashboard now. And you may have noticed there's a news feed here. So there's things that are sort of popping up. So these are articles. We have a section called Discover, where we post a lot of content that's meant to help you in your search for universities and colleges and education, careers, scholarships, etc. So this is content that is based, again, on your profile that sort of pops up. There's also request info. So again, if you want to request information, we try to spotlight universities here that you might be interested in, and then more of our Discover content down here. So this is something from Brock University. Sort of as we get down below here, it's general sort of content that you might be interested in, but here's student success, how Goodman students at Brock survived, 10 tips to make the most out of your campus tour, which is probably pretty relevant right now, from VIU out west. So you click on the content and hopefully it's helpful. You've got lots of great stuff here. If you want to explore the Discover section more, you can go over to Discover and do searches, okay? Which I won't do right now. I'm going to flip out back here to, and you can save articles. I've got a number saved here. But I want to go into events because sort of this is the event time of year. So we're posting here the upcoming events. Our CCUF fair is highlighted here. There's an undergraduate online session on OCAD. So if you're interested in that, you can click on it. OCAD is located in Toronto. It's the Ontario College of Art and Design University now. So there's an event coming up. If you want to, looks like you can save it. You can't go to it because it's already passed, so the registration button's gone. But if you want to explore OCAD a little more, you can. So here's a profile for OCAD. And again, we're trying to present you with useful links. Hopefully the social and other links here make it useful to find information or get directly to places on their website. We have a video that's loading right now, so that might help in terms of helping you decide if OCAD's the place for you. And then we have profiles. So quick facts, it's a university. Here's the average tuition fee. There's a profile for OCAD, so general information here on the university. Programs, the sort of meat of any kind of school. That's really where you're going to end up, is in a program. So I've got my program listings for OCAD here, and we saw what they looked like a minute ago with U Waterloo and other schools, but you can search and you've got the listings here. So you may be interested in OCAD. So other schools that came up when people looked at OCAD, they also looked at Western, Seneca, Humber. So you can click out and take a look at those schools as well. So I'm off here to Humber. Again, a nice video, an overview, requesting information. So if you want more information from Humber, you can use this form. If I click on it, it will open up. And because I'm logged in, it will open up a form with my information already inside. I can edit that, but it makes it easy just to submit. Okay. And then in this case, Humber may have related articles that you might be interested in, related schools, and events. I don't see any events right now. Let me just flip over again. We were in events, so I'm going to go back to the events section. So we saw that OCAD had an event. Let's see what else is going on. Most of the events are going to be online, but some schools are opening up. So there are campus tours. I don't think anyone's going to have a huge open house, but certainly smaller campus tours are available. So that's our OCAD event. If you're in Saskatchewan, was an event happening today as well. There's an event tomorrow at Capilano, Fraser Institute. You can explore Huron at Western. So lots of events from colleges and universities across the country. And you can sort by location. You can sort by month. And if you subscribe to things like the newsletter, we'll update you regularly with what's going on event-wise. Okay, and then if there is registration, we'll offer a link. If there's more information, Trent's Open House is October 2nd. So again, there's a description, there's a registration link, which will take you off to the site to register if that's required. And yeah, and so again, hopefully this is going to keep you apprised or up to date on what's happening across the, in a sense, across the country or even around the world. Okay, I'm going to flip back to dashboard. So, hopefully this has helped you find programs, explore some of the options for programs that you're interested in. This will, there's a request info or more information. You can link out to the school and ideally get on their list so that you're kept up to date on what's going on, especially if you're in grade 11 or just into grade 12 now. It's a great way to stay up to date. And then you can figure out what events you might want to go to. There's career information, lots of articles and content here. I think that's it. I want to link now out to scholarships, and then we'll go back to the presentation. So as I said earlier, the sites are interlinked. So you can go from School Finder to Scholarships Canada and back and forth. I have created a profile, and I'll just flip back here. So this is my avatar, dude with pipe. This is same dude with pipe. And And my profile, there are a few other pages on scholarships or a few other questions, but this is my matching scholarships. So I have 86 in total that I may be eligible for, and I can explore them here. These are listed by deadlines, so there's scholarships coming up. So if I'm interested in a scholarship, I can click on it and get more information. I won't do that because that's really Logan's piece, so I'll leave it at that for now. And I'll go back to the presentation. So we've done our tour. Ta-da! Takeaways. So if you're in grade 11, you're just kind of getting into it now. You may want to, in order to position yourself to apply to a university or college next year, there may be program or courses that you want to take. You may want to get on their mailing list now, just so you're on the radar and you're kept apprised of what's going on. If you're in grade 12, it's time to sort of make a short list of schools. So, you may have one school that you really want to go to. Maybe it's at a province or it's got a high entrance marks requirement. So it's kind of a stretch school, but, for sure, put that on your list. It's maybe your dream school. And then you'll have other schools that you want to apply to, and then a safety school. Safety meaning the school you'll get into. So you kind of want a sort of strategy around creating your shortlist. And you can do that on School Finder in the dashboard. You can sort of create the schools or save the schools that you're keen on and the programs. Once you've done that, reach out to schools, talk to recruiters, talk to advisors, get connected on social, get connected on email or lists so that you're getting information from the university or the college. And also talk to other students that might have gone to that school or are in that program. The more insight you can get into, get on the school and the program, the better. You'll make a better decision. The more equipped you are, the more prepared you are, the more likely you are to make the right decision. You might say, I like the school. I like people who've gone to the school or are in this program. It feels right to me, right? And then if you can, take a tour. And as I say, if you're in a new city and you don't know what restaurant to go to, yeah, you can jump on Yelp or Google Maps or whatever to find the right restaurant. But if you can go in and sort of visit the restaurant, it's much better. Does it feel right? How does the campus feel? How does the lecture rooms, what do they feel like? Are they big lectures, small lectures? Is the campus full of students, or is it, I guess, empty right now? It may be mostly empty with COVID, or it's coming back to life. But what does it feel like? That's really important. If you can talk to profs or other students that are currently at the university or the college, that helps too, because you're going to spend 2 to 4 years, maybe longer, in this environment, and it's going to set you up for the future. It's important to try to get to make the right decision, and to do that, if you're actually on campus, if you're looking at the school, walking around, that really gives you some great insight. Okay, and I think that's it. Thanks for your time. We'll open this up for questions, but thanks for your time, and it's a great journey you're about to set out on. It will have a huge impact on your life. And I think education is an ongoing journey. So this is the start. Well, I guess you've already started if you're in high school, but it's the start of a really neat sort of next stage in your lives. So as I also say, carpe diem, seize the day. And yeah, I'll open it up, Logan, for questions.
Beautiful. Thanks so much for presenting. Yes, if anyone has any more questions about school profiles, programs, how to make the most of schoolfinder.com, now is a great time to ask. Otherwise, we will be back at 6 o'clock on the hour in about 20 minutes for the second half of our show today about scholarships. But yeah, if there are any questions, feel free to fire them in the chat. Now's your chance. We've got a new question in here. Thanks so much from Aisha. Chris, what kind of things do you recommend when keeping an eye out for schools? Like, what should students be looking for when they're trying to make the right decision?
Red flags. I don't know if for some reason you don't feel comfortable. So that, anything that kind of gets your back up or, it's, again, it's sort of intuition in a sense. But did you get any sort of in talking to people, people who work at the university or college or students or whatever, did things kind of, how sometimes, you hear something and you say, oh, that doesn't sound right, or that's strange. Drill down on it, find out more about it. It's hard to know, though. I mean, I went to Western, which is a great school, but it was probably too big for me, especially at the undergrad level. I like a smaller environment. So Glendon College, which is a much smaller environment, if you've been there, it's located in Toronto, but it sort of almost feels like it's in the country. It's in a park almost. It was for me, it was a better school because it was smaller. But now, at this stage of my life, I probably would do well at a bigger school. So it depends on your age and stage, but, did I have red flags when I visited Western? I'm not sure. But yeah, if listen to your, your tuition, listen to your inner voice if you want. I hope that helps.
Thanks very much, Chris. I think that's it for questions. If anyone has any last minute questions, fire them in the chat. Otherwise, we will close up shop for a few minutes and return on the hour.
Excellent. Thanks, everyone, and good luck. Don't forget to go and visit the exhibit booths.
Oh, if I may, Chris, just before we sign off here, another question from Anonymous. When looking on the website, I noticed some options for studying abroad. If we didn't see a location and country abroad that you're looking for, are there other resources to suggest? Maybe study and go abroad? I'm not sure.
Yes. So we list, as we saw earlier, about 5,000 universities, colleges and universities, but certainly not every college and university around the world. So we tend to be strong with the UK, some US, some Australia, New Zealand is pretty good, and some Italy, Spain, but by no means all schools around the world. So if you're looking for schools, for instance, in Asia, it's a good question. I would start with Google. I'm not sure about resources. Maybe we could post something. But definitely you could start with like a Google search. I know for grad schools, QS would be pretty good for grad schools around the world. Financial Times would be good for, the top, 500 schools, undergraduate or graduate around the world. And we do actually have links to some of those resources. But yeah, Financial Times, QS, and maybe we can post or send a link to other resources. That helps?
Yeah, thanks. I've put a couple of the links in the chat as well.
Okay, great.
Have just a couple of minutes here, one or two more. One more quick question. How would you reach out to recruiters? What do you recommend when a student is going to reach out to a recruiter? What should they do?
So we have what we call request info. So there's when you sign up to the site, you can opt in to request information from schools. So we'll give you a list of schools that match your criteria, and you can say, yes, I want to reach out to them, and we'll send an email. It'll all be organized behind the scenes, and your first name, last name, email address, and a few other details goes to the school, and then they'll reach out to you. They'll get back to you, most of them within 24 hours. You can also do it on the website. So as I showed earlier in the presentation, there's a request info button on a program profile or a school profile, and you can request information there. But we don't have like every single school in Canada is not using the request info, but we do provide an email and a website link. So on the school profile, there'll be information that makes it possible for you to reach out directly to a school and request information, or call them, or link to their social and do it that way. But yeah, so there are a number of different ways, but with the site, when you sign up, you'll be given that opportunity. And then once you've signed up, you can request information from additional schools through the form that I showed you, matching schools, or through the button that's on most programs and school profiles. And I do encourage you to do that, because sometimes we don't want to share information because we think we're going to get spammed or where's it going. But in this situation, it's going to universities and colleges, and they all respect your right, your Canadian anti-spam legislation right to email. So if you want to unsubscribe, as we do, if you want to unsubscribe at any time, you can. So it's all legit. The benefit of being on a list is far outweighs the fear from your name being out there. And it's really just your email address and your first and last name, essentially, and some of your interests. But it's a great way to stay informed. Okay, good. I hope that helps.
Beauty. That's it for questions, and that's it for time. So thanks very much, folks, for joining.
Great. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye. Good luck.